Yeah.
So if India posts something negative about the government can say, take this down, and Twitter will take it
Twitter
down.
has these interstitials, like kind of different content policies on different states. And so Pakistan, there's basically a different Twitter in all of these different countries.
Is that because it's the only way they can be on in those countries?
That's the argument is in that, but it's the same argument that, Google goes through when they're like, should we go to China? We want to go to China. We have this Dragonfly project. Are we going to, let's work on it behind the scenes.
What is Dragonfly?
It's like Google's, I don't know all the details, but it's their kind of China project. Their project to get Google accessible in China and have it be okay with the government.
I was friends with someone who was an executive at Google back in the day, and what she described to me was that if they didn't, and they were in negotiation and doing business with China, and she said, if we don't do this, they're just going to copy it. They're basically just going to rip off Google. And so we're in this battle to either appease them with their rules and have it go over there and have, some things like Tiananmen Square be censored, where you can't access information about Tiananmen Square. And it's just like, well, it seems to be a situation where we kind of have to do that, or they're just going to copy Google.
Yeah, I don't think that's just a game that we're not interested in playing. I think that we're just going to stick to the laws that we're required to obey. And if other countries are going, we've been banned in China. We've been banned in Vietnam. We had a huge wave of this was one of our largest. We got 500,000 users in 2 days in Vietnam because there was a revolving door between their government and Facebook. And, the journalists of Vietnam found out, and we got this huge wave. And then shortly after, Vietnam banned us. But people still can use VPNs at their own risk there. I just feel like it's a losing battle, constantly catering to all of these different countries and their censorship laws. It feels like just sort of a waste of time. And we can bypass all that with decentralized protocols. Mm-hmm. And so, but I get it. It's not easy, especially when, a company could go bankrupt. And if you lose all your German users, if Twitter gets banned in India, that's a major we're not dependent on those users.
And I appreciate that you're not independent. I think what you do is very important, and I'm glad you're out there. I really am, and I'm glad there's this option. And I'm glad you guys have these rock solid ethics in regards to that. It's very important, and I wonder at scale if we come back and do another podcast in 2 years and Minds now has 50 million or 100 million.
Let's make that happen.
You're what happens then? And I have to be honest, I only got on Minds a couple times after you gave me a
You know what's
login.
funny? Your first time sharing Minds?
No.
It was in 2009 or no, maybe 2011. And you shared this viral video that was going on Minds of this quantum levitation disc. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's if you look on if you just search quantum, superconducting levitation. Mm-hmm. And you had just seen that, and this was way before we knew each other, and you had just shared that. So
Are you sure it's me?
I'm almost positive.
I bet it's not.
No, I had friends message me. They were like, "Dude, Rogan just
I
shared
bet it's
this
not.
video." Really?
Yeah, I bet it's a fake me.
No.
I think you got duped.
Really?
Let's go look at it.
Can we find it on your Twitter?
Yeah. How would it be me?
No, because you just shared a link to a video. You didn't know. You just thought.
I shared it on Twitter.
You shared it on Twitter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you weren't a user.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think.
So I shared this thing, and this thing originated on Minds, and then it boosted mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How many views?
It was just one of those crazy levitation videos where it's just what the hell is going on? This magnet is just levitating.
Right. That sounds like something I would post.
Yeah.
So do you have the number one post ever on Minds? How many people does it reach?
We have posts that have hit probably over 1 million.
And is it because someone's sharing it on other social media networks like I did?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and that's what's so malicious about these algorithms getting clamped down is that everyone's in survival mode now.
Right.
And even Twitter doesn't. What we learned from the algorithm is that the links are punished. All links. If you post a link on Twitter, it's not getting elevated in the algorithm, and that is because they want to keep people on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, and we always speculated this because you can just tell you post, and the reach of posts with links is way down, and so we have historically obviously used that. The problem is that for the way that big tech emerged, there was nothing else. There was nothing to throttle them.
Right.
So now they can just throttle competition by not allowing links to outside sites to be elevated. I'm not saying they don't have the right to do it, but I think that it's just not helpful for the open web. I think that people need to be able to post links and not get punished for it.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yep, that's one of the things we learned. You know, obviously they're favoring native content. They're favoring Twitter Blue, which is, again, some of it makes sense, but you know, don't piss off the journalists.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. It's not smart. But the link thing is really weird. So I could understand encouraging people to post links, but how would you do that? And then not encouraging people to post links, but posting it native. I can understand that you'd want, like, just put the whole article on Twitter or just put this on Twitter.
Yeah, and it is a better experience typically to use the native functions of the app. It's smoother, it looks better. But
it's so easy to just say, like if I find something interesting on YouTube, oftentimes I will just say, oh, that's a fascinating video. Let me just post that real quick.
Yep.
And then the problem with that sometimes is it posts it with the clickbait headline, and then people think it's yours, that you're saying that, libs get owned, like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
like,
one word, two of the words in caps.
Yeah, so now I'm like, fuck. Well, maybe I should post it, but put my own thing on it instead of
right. But you don't want to have, if you want to share a video from YouTube,
you don't be click.
Well, you don't want to have to download the video and then upload it. First of all, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So
the only way to do that is to screen capture it.
Yeah.
Or get an app that
Ripper
downloads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all the sites do that. I mean, we when we were first starting, because we have over 1 million followers on our Facebook pages, and we would drive crazy traffic just posting viral videos and cool articles, and we had journalists on, and we would post their stuff, and we would so much traffic, millions and millions of users a month hitting the site, and then Facebook was just and then boom, and but we always knew that we didn't want to be. It was a nice to have thing.
Right.
So the reason we do what we do is because we didn't want to be relying on them. But it just goes to show how much power they have. I mean, they can literally wipe out jobs and people's livelihoods and companies just overnight.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
If you're not favored and you don't play the algorithm game, it's so sickening and worrying about the algorithm. It's people are just worship this thing, and you kind of have to for survival. Because you're trying to succeed, but then, what are you really spending your time doing?